was for the investigation of political killings. And we know from the documents that my colleague, Commissioner Baloy, and indeed before that, Ms. Hassim, drew your attention to, that the mandate to do political cases, traditional killings, is extended only in April of 2024. So I just don't understand this idea that before April 2024, possibly, as you seem to suggest, the PKTT could have investigated traditional leader killings, even before the mandate was extended. I just do not understand that. Can you explain?
Chair, from my work environment that I know, is that long before the request for funding, they were already investigating such cases of traditional leaders. It didn't just only start last year. They were already investigating it. It's a point I'm prepared to lay my neck on the block and say they didn't start now.
But you see, you took us to the document that my colleague, Commissioner Kumalo, was engaging you with. And you randomly showed us this case and that case and that case to make this point that you are making. And then I said to you, but, General, you do not seem to be distinguishing between the fact that the PKTT would also investigate parallel matters. And there's a logical reason for that. You cannot split related cases or parallel cases and to have them investigated at separate places. So there was a reason for that. Now you randomly show us cases in a manner that suggests that you are not drawing that distinction. So now you're saying, but I do know that even before, I said, if you remember, I said, you seem to suggest that we will get an answer from a certain document that you were referring us to. We've gone to that document, and that's when you randomly pointed at cases in a manner that suggests that you are not factoring this distinction, the distinction between political killings and cases that are parallel to political killings. So thus far you have not really shown us the difference you sought to show us. Now you are saying, but I know for a fact that they had started long ago. And yet you had said the answer for them starting long ago is in this document. And thus far, this document has not assisted you. So where else, or from what other document, or from what other evidence, evidence, do you base the long ago?
May I just...
General, as you prepare to answer that question, keep in mind also that your testimony yesterday was that you had nothing to do, you knew nothing about the PKTT, their operations, what they were doing, until you were now suddenly introduced to this. You remember we did that exercise about what did you know, at which point did you know, but your evidence yesterday was you had nothing to do with the PKTT until you were asked to sign this recommendation in April 2024. So if you say, I know for a fact they were investigating, you need to explain how would you have known that in your position? And as the chair says, where do we see that in the documents that they were in fact investigating?
You see, Chair, the line of questioning by the commissioners worries me in this sense. The chair asked me a specific question that I must respond to specifically, and just when I'm about to, because now as the chair speaks and I frame how to respond, then Commissioner Baloyi says, before you respond, then come up with a different angle, and then that goes also deeper into a different subject, or that is a different response.
I withdraw my question.
No,
Answer the chair's question, and then I can ask you my question after that.
That's what I wanted to ask, Chair.
No. The two are related. The two are related. You are saying long before the mandate was extended, you know for a fact that they had already been investigating traditional leadership killings. Now, all that Commissioner Baloyi is saying, the knowledge that you are referring to, or rather, bear in mind as you show us how you know, bear in mind that you have said you were not involved at all with the PKTT until the time that you were asked to sign the document on funding in 2024. So that's all it adds. It doesn't change the complexion. It doesn't change the picture. It just says, where do you get this knowledge from, bearing in mind the fact that you say you were not involved with the PKTT?
Chair, from my side, as when this question came initially, what I remembered in my mind is that I have seen a number of these cases, and that are dated as far back as 2018, 19, 20, 2021. So it could not have been. Then the chair comes and say, all right, but do you also believe that it does not necessarily mean that they started...
When you say these cases, are you talking about traditional?
Traditional.
Yes.
So then the question comes that says, but it does not necessarily mean that because of the fact that this case, the case number is 2021, it means that they started with the PKTT in 2021. Now, my point was try to demonstrate and say they have been investigating various other cases that are not political in nature and that are also not traditional in nature. And I wanted to give an example of that case in Umkoma's case number 7, because this one is about drug related. Now, I don't know whether the drug related, it is also a parallel case to either political killing or to traditional land affairs. That's what I wanted to point.
You'll recall that earlier when we engaged before my colleague Commissioner Kumalo started engaging you will recall that I said it doesn't assist us for you to randomly point at or itemize cases without, as you sit there, being able to tell us that